Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss the poem A-Valediction-Forbidding Mourning by John Donne. I'll discuss summary, line by line explanation and analysis, symbol, themes and poetic devices, the rhyming scheme, and completely will analyze this poem. So let's begin by summary. As the title indicates, it's a valediction, a farewell to a beloved one, and subtitle Forbidden Mourning. This means that he should not have to lament on departure of someone he loved. So the speaker opens with an image of good men dying quietly, their souls to leave their bodies, and it's like unbelievable thing, and the beloved ones don't believe their beloved one have been departed, and lover is forbidding farewell, and they should not give in to temptation to weep or sigh, and in fact grieving so openly would degrade their private love by broadcasting it to ordinary people. And he compare it with natural disturbances such as earthquake, and these are noticeable things by ordinary people, but large movements of heavens and cosmos which are very significant, but they are unnoticeable by most of people. So he want his departure, his valediction, to be unnoticed by ordinary people. The speaker and his lover, on the other hand, they experience a more rare and special kind of bond, a link. They are linked mentally, unlike other people, and their souls of lovers are unified by love. It's love that unified their souls, and speaker must leave, their souls will not be broken apart. And the soul of the lover is like a stationary. He just compare the soul of lover to a stationary foot of compass, which does not appear to move itself but actually does response to other foot. So how the foot of compass are connected to each other, he compare his himself and his lover to draw a comparison between them, how they interdependent each other and how they are necessary for one another. So this is a brief summary, and the themes, we'll see themes. The major theme is love and distance. So in this poem, on the occasion of his separation from his wife Annie on diplomatic business, he loved her so much that he didn't expect this departure, but it will happen, and he will not grieve on this departure because there is a spiritual unification between them. The separation should not matter to him and his lover, because genuine love transcends physical distances. The physical separation and distances doesn't matter in true love. And he told us that the lovers are linked so strongly by spiritual bonds that their separation has little meaning. And the two lovers are linked by a mutual mental certainty about their love, and they are so close in their way that the separation of their bodies doesn't mean much. The speaker further assures his lover that their souls as well as their minds are unified, and physical separation doesn't breach or break their bond. And he compared the soul of himself and his lover to two legs of a compass in order to explain how they are still connected even they are physically apart. And the addressee of this poem, his lover, is fixed foot. He compares, and he compare himself to moving part of compass, how they are interdependent and necessary for each other to complete the purpose, which is drawing a circle. Although the speaker must travel away, he will remain on just path, correct and faithful. Together, the legs of compass create a circle, make a complete circle. And we'll see another. Okay, true love in the speaker's summation not only can withstand any separation but will always bring lovers back to each other. And these themes occur in line 5 and 17 to 36, almost entire poem. Second theme is physical love versus spiritual love. So he tried to distinguish between physical ordinary love and the spiritual love, and he asserts that how he and his lover are spiritually connected. He described his spiritual love, and he describes that how loudly mourns would belittle the love itself. They shouldn't have to mourn because they have a spiritual love, and the poem argues a reliance on the power of spiritual connection in order to soften the pain of separation. The speakers began by describing quiet death of virtuous men, and he conscious against tear flood and side tempest, the usual signs of separation that the ordinary people or physical lovers used to practice, because they make the grief of parting too readily apparent to others, and their particular kind of love, he claims, would be degraded by letting other people know about it. And he and his lovers have a sacred spiritual bond which other people cannot understand. And he's talking about that it's different from the usual kind of love that other peoples do. And the speakers point out that the disturbances of earth are very noticeable, such as causing harm and fear, and this is an implied analogy for troubles of ordinary lovers whose separations are stormy. They grieve, lament on their separation, whereas the trembling of cosmos, which is significant, very important, and unnoticeable by people on earth. So their expression is like this: the cosmos, the trembling of cosmos, and it's a massive event and remain invisible to outsiders. So our expression would be like that, it should not be noticeable by other ordinary people, and his refined highly mental conception of love is different from that of dull sublunary lovers. And the soul of common lovers love is sense. He described that the soul of common love, ordinary people's love, is sense, the physical sensation, whereas the speaker and his lover have a connection of mind and soul that makes physical presence less important. And love has been so much refined that it's beyond even their understanding. And it will occur the theme in line 1 to 4, 5 to 20, 21 to 24. Now we'll begin by line analysis. Line 1 to 4. As virtuous men pass midly away and whisper to their souls to go, will some of their sad friends do say, the breath goes now, some say no. So here we'll see the opening image presents the death of a virtuous, a wise man who pass away without a fuss, almost unnoticeable, and this passing is almost invisible to their friends who disagree about whether or not it has even happened. So obviously it's unbelievable, and the language of these lines then echo the peace of slow, calm death they describe. And line 5 to 8. So let us melt and make no noise, no tear flood, no side tempest move, to wear profanation of our joys, to tell the light our love. So in these lines, he says that the parting of two lovers should be as quiet as death, and they should not show the physical effects of grief, because this would make their bond visible to outside world, which profanes it, which humiliate it or degrade it. So here melt is used as a metaphor, and it refers to parting. And here he used hyperbole and used words like tears flood, side tempest, and to describe ways of describing the visible signs of grief that practiced by ordinary lovers, and hyperbole subtly paints the physical mourning as absurd and embarrassing, and people who exhibit floods of tear and windstorms of sighs are showing off their grief, and the speaker do not want to show off this party. The speaker conscious is lover that they shouldn't let other people see how upset they are about the parting, and by doing this they're degrading their love, and the use of profanation laity makes it clear that the speaker consider his love spiritual, even religious as well. So this kind of bond with his lover, the speakers implies that the bond is a very spiritual, sacred, special one. Line 9 to 12, moving of the earth being harms and fearment reckon what it did and meant, but repetition of spheres through great fear in innocent. So in this stanza, this acts as a metaphor for the speaker's both bond with his lover, and it draws a distinction between earthly and heavenly events, which the speaker will then turn to in order to differentiate the spiritual love from ordinary physical love. So he compared the moving of earth, earthquakes, which are observed or noticeable by ordinary lovers, and the parting of ordinary lovers is like earthquake, noisy and visible to everyone, whereas repetition of spares, the moving of cosmos, which are significant events invisible to other people. It causes important event but goes unnoticeable by human beings, and the speakers and his lovers love is like that cosmos, unnoticeable, very significant indeed. And line 13 to 16, dull sublunary lovers loves whose soul is sense cannot admit absence, because it doth remove those things which alimented it. So he described understanding of ordinary lovers who would make a big show of parting from each other, and he characterized them as dull, and sublunary word he used which means both under the moon, mundane, commonplace, worldly, and his belief that his love by contrast is not of this world but rather something higher beyond conception, and these lovers must see and touch one another in order to fulfill their love. Though the physical presence is important for common lovers, whereas it is not important for the speaker and his lover. They are spiritually connected, so physical presence doesn't matter. Of course, indeed. And line 17 to 20, but we by a love so much refined that ourselves know not what it is, enter assured of mind careless eyes, lips, and lends to miss. So here he began by word refines, which means purified, improved, formed, and this love is higher and more sacred than other kinds of love. And the two lovers, they are linked by mutual confidence about their bond, and this gives them some freedom from usual pain of separation. The speaker has little use for physical elements that make up a lover, arguing that they are minor compared to mind and soul. Line 21 to 24, are two souls therefore which are one, thou I must go in John, not yet a breach, not but an expansion, like gold to everything is beat. So this contains a paradoxical statement, means a contradictory statement. The speakers refer to our two souls but also said that they are one. So this references the idea of marriage as a union of souls. Oneness show idea of marriage or union of their souls, and they act as of one, and their combined souls will expand, stretching out to cover distance between them. So he compare it with a beaten gold. As the gold is beaten, it expands on and it spreads. So the bond will separate, and the separation, the distance between them will be covered. And line 25 to 28, if they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin passes compasses are true, thy soul the fixed foot make no sure to move, but doth if other do. So it's the poem central conceit is there, the comparison between two lovers' souls and legs of drawing compass. And there are obviously two of them, but they are still two parts of one whole. And he compares the fixed foot or central point of compass to represent his lover's souls, and the moving part of compass to represent his own. And if the other half of the compass is moving, then the first foot does in fact move by spinning in place how they are connected, and they fulfill their purpose. They cannot fulfill their purpose without one is missing. And line 29 to 32, and thou it in the center sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearken after it, and grows erect as that comes home. So here he gives a detail about the movement of compass fixed foot, and it sits in the center of the circle. The speakers personified the fixed foot, saying that it hearkens or yearns after its partner, and the speaker's lover must wait like the fixed foot, and the love that connects them draws her towards him, and spiritually if not physically, and it draw a perfect circle. And in terms of soul, it represents to be erect implies the alertness. The soul of speaker's lover is awake, excited from its return. The speaker's lover can experience both a spiritual and physical excitement about reunion of their two bodies. Line 33 to 36, such wilt thou be to me, who must like the other foot obliquely run, thy firmness make my circle just, and make me end where I begin. The speaker is explaining how things will be, leaving no room for argument, and he must make his journey and relies on his lover to remain the fixed foot. The speaker also referred to himself as moving obliquely, and this is literal in terms of metaphor, since the moving foot of compass leans back towards its other half, and the fixed point of a drawing compass must remain steadily in one place in order for the moving foot to draw a perfect circle. The speaker's lover has to remain steadily for a similar reason, and her faithfulness gives him a reason to continue on his intended course, his journey, and to return. And a perfect circle ends exactly at the same point where it began, and it make complete whole. By comparing their relationship to a device for drawing perfect circle, the speaker again links his love with divine perfection of spares, and love he described is part of heavenly system, one that includes both vision and mystery. And now we'll analyze symbols. The first symbol is sphere and circles. So for him, this represents eternity, and he compares true love to spheres, and the other spheres are eternal, and their movements are regular, circularly, perfectly arranged. The spheres also symbolize the speaker's relationship with his lover. Their love is not influenced by minor changes on earth like temporary separation. The circle represents eternity and escape from time. It defeats mortality by turning its end into a beginning. It symbolizes an enduring love which returns to its source unchanged by time part, and it will occur in line 11, 26, 35, and 36. Now the poetic devices simile has been used to draw comparison. An instance of 6, the speakers talk about expansion of souls that are spiritually joined but physically distant. In line 24, he explained this expansion with a concrete simile. For example, this line like gold to airy thinness beat. Sorry. So this simile serves to underline the precious quality of bond between two lovers, and it is a fine and rare as gold, like gold, and it withstand expansion, and it will occur in line 1, line 24, 25 to 26 as well. And second poetic device conceit has been used, and to it is used to compare two different objects are linked together with the help of simile or metaphor, and it develops a comparison which is unlikely but uh, imaginable. So the metaphor of compass serves as a poem's central conceit here, and he compares the twin feet of drafting compass to souls of true lovers, and it uses a concrete object to express an abstract relationship. So if two souls are really behave like the point of compass, there is no need to fear and mourn the separation. It will occur in line 25 to 36 when compasses are two, and thy firmness make thy my circle just. And next poetic device is hyperbole to overstate or to exaggerate something. He used hyperbole to ridicule the common ways of expressing grief about parting, such as tear floods, sight tempest, cautions against public display of mourning, the mourning of ordinary lovers, and it would show wild emotions about separations are not experiencing true spiritual love, and he thinks of this expression as excessive and ridiculous, and they stand in contrast to love that speaker and his lover share, which is more closely linked to heavenly bodies and their movements. It will occur in line 6. Then alliteration is there, repetition of similar sound at the beginning. Alliteration is particularly present in the poem's last stanza. Here we'll see repetition of sound, and he'll see me must, and followed by firmness makes my make me. So repetition is there, and it will occur in line 3, 4, 5, 8, 13, 16, 33, 35, and 36. Then enjambment is there, which is used to carry an idea or sort our next line without a pause. So he finished a complete phrase or sentence with its appropriate punctuation. In line 6 you will see the profanation of our joys. This doesn't make sense. Okay, what would profanation of their joys? So until the reader moves to next line which completes this sentence, and it will occur in line 7 to 8, 13 to 16, 25 to 26. And then diacop is used, which is repetition of words separated by small number of intervening words. So here we'll see diacop in line 25 and 26 with triple repetition of 2, and here you will see if they be two, they are two, and as stiff twins compasses are two. So this repetition develops idea of souls being separated and brings the speaker into a final argument where he explains how two things can be one. And it will occur in line 25 and 26. Apostrophe is used to address someone who didn't respond. Thus, the speaker is addressing to a lover he is about to leave behind for a journey. And he addressed using words thou convey affection, familiarity, and it is used to address someone's friends or family. It will occur in line 5, 6 to 8, 17 to 20, 21 to 32, 27 to 28, 33 to 36 as well. Personification is also there, which means to give qualities of living animated things to non-living things, inanimate objects. So the metaphor of compass contains elements of personification as well, and he used word hearken, which means imagining that one foot of compass is actively listening to signs of others. So although we know that Compass Food didn't listen, but he used personification. It is in line 31. Metaphor, direct comparison. And a poem central metaphor is that of drafting compass, which is compared to lovers' souls, and it comes in stanza 3, which contrasts earthly disaster with heavenly disturbances. The speaker does not draw explicitly connection between these two events and subject of rest of the poem. And moving of the earth, most likely referring to earthquakes, and metaphor of earthquake passes a judgment on public mourning. It's harmful, noisy, upsetting for other peoples. And so yes, it's used in line 5, let us melt, line 9 to 12, moving earth spring, line 11 to 12, trepidation of spares, and paradox is used there, which means paradox is a statement which seems impossible. Okay, so in which the speakers claim that the two souls can be one, so it doesn't happen. It's impossible for two souls to be one. So what he did, so he just tried to imagine that since the two separated things cannot be one at the same time, but he describes the bond, the link between himself and his lover as unified as one. So here we'll see the lovers are two separated people but feel themselves to be part of same soul, and this is a conflict between reason and emotional understanding. So reason, by reason or logic it is impossible, but emotionally, but in love it is possible. You can imagine that your souls to be unified with your lover, and it gives the poem momentum to move into final explanation. It will occur in line 21. So this is the vocabulary, the meaning of difficult words. We'll see light, mean late, petition, fear, spheres, solid, rounded objects, sublunary, commonplace, under the moon, mundane, and hearken mean to listen, obliquely, indirectly. So the form of this poem will say it's a set of 9 quatrains, and one quatrain contains 4 lines. This is the form, and the meter, iambic pentameter, 10 syllables in a line. The pattern of stress and unstressed syllables, and rhyming scheme is ABAB, and we'll see. Okay, we'll discuss form. The setting takes place in the minds of a speaker and his lover, exploring the connection link between the two, historical context, metaphysical school of poetry, which is a broad term, Samuel coined by Samuel Johnson, 18th century. And here are more resources you can consult. The notes are in the description. Thank you for watching.